Raindrop Cake, which is the most buzzworthy food experience taking over social media right now, is the founder of the Raindrop Cake himself, Mr. Darren Wong. Welcome, Darren, to our kitchen. First of all, what exactly is a raindrop cake?
Well, it's very simple. It's a jelly dessert that's made out of agar, so it's vegan. So think about it as a vegan alternative to gelatin.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, because if you're vegan, you guys dig in. You can't eat Jello or gelatin. So why call it the raindrop cake?
So, well, I wanted to come up with a really fun name, and it's just very descriptive, and also reminds me from that scene from Bug's Life where you're just eating a giant drop of water.
Yes. And how did this become the biggest thing on social media? How did you turn into the raindrop cake king?
It was a surprise to me. It started off with, I used to eat something similar to this as a kid. My mom used to make it, and I didn't really see these types of desserts around. And I saw in Japan they had a water mochi. It was called a Mizu Sinjin Mochi, and I started experimenting at home, just on my own in my kitchen, and just started experimenting with different agars and recipes until I landed on this specific recipes. And then I started sharing with friends, roommates, and they responded very well to it. And that sort of gave me the confidence to kind of share it with more people.
Well, it went from a raindrop, it went to a thunderstorm because it was everywhere.
But wait, I'm not sure how to approach this. Like, do I put stuff on it and sprinkle? Like, what? Or
we got the inside scoop before you said it.
I know, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I was doing it right. So what? You powder? You put something on
The
top?
best way to eat that is just to mix everything together. It's everything's separated because it is better presentation, but
Yeah.
the way to eat it is just to sprinkle the powder on top, which is a kanako powder. It's roasted soybeans. And then the syrup is a black sugar cane syrup.
Okay, so what's the way to make it?
Yeah, so the main ingredient is the agar, and you only need very little of it.
Okay.
And so we're going to mix in half a teaspoon with 2 cups of water.
Okay.
That's boiling.
Okay, so I imagine you went through a lot of trial and error before you figured out the perfect amount.
Yeah, the first one I had was like a high bounce ball. I could bounce it off.
Oh, probably not so tasty.
Yeah. So you just sprinkle it over the top of the boiling water. What you want to prevent is clumping.
Okay.
And that's why you want to wait for the water to boil and then whisk and stir. And so, yeah, that's just a very basic one. And you can add whatever flavoring extracts to it. So
you let this come to a boil and then you set aside and let it cool.
yeah, so you let it boil for a few minutes and just to make sure that all the agar is dissolved.
So is the key to getting the perfectly, because I can see that they're so clear, they look like a raindrop, so the key is adding just the right amount of agar?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I experimented with a lot with. I wanted to make a dessert that was really fragile, which is great for presentation, but really bad for storage. So it's really right on the cusp of just enough agar to hold its shape. And if you use too much, it will hold its shape, but it won't be clear. If you use too little, it'll fall apart.
Okay, for the I don't know, the undereducated in this room, what's agar? What is that?
It's made out of seaweed.
Okay.
So it's a great alternative to gelatin.
So it's like Jello that someone who's vegan can eat.
Okay. Okay.
It's an ingredient that's been in Asian kitchens for a long time. I grew up with this in the U.S. It's mainly found in like health food stores and it's just kind of specialty sections.
Okay.
Vegans might have heard of it, but it's not really as popular.
Yeah, they use it in candy a lot to keep the candy together.
Okay.
So this is what we've done now to set it aside. We've set it aside, it's cooled, and then you pour this in these silicone sort of molds. Yes, all right.
So the first thing we're going to do is add a little bit of rose extract because for today we have special Valentine's versions. So we're going to add rose extract. Those are the ones you're
It tastes
Yeah.
like roses.
Yeah.
It tastes lovely.
And I thought it was really interesting that you said that you also have to be careful the kind of water you use or it won't come out clear.
Right. So that's a lot of testing I did too. The clearer the water, the clearer the cake. So if you use mineral water, because there's minerals in it, the agar will actually sort of attach to the minerals. It'll be less clear.
So what do you want? Distilled water? Is that?
You just as pure water as you get. I tend to go for spring water, and that gives me the best results. And then the final thing is adding little edible.
So pretty.
Sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. So then do we have to put this in the refrigerator to set?
Yeah, so great thing about agar, it doesn't need to be refrigerated to set. It can set at 80 degrees
Oh,
temperature.
really?
But to speed things up, we're going to put it in the refrigerator.
And when you serve it, they go ahead and then, I don't want to stop you, but when you serve it, you want to serve it chilled, or is it okay to serve it at 80 degrees?
It's okay to serve at 80 degrees, but serving it chilled is a lot more refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is refreshing.
You know what else is refreshing? is the number of calories that's in something like this. How many
I know.
calories are in something?
Very little. The raindrop cake itself, because the ingredients are just agar and water, there's no calories in it.
So you're telling me I'm having cake with no calories?
There's a little bit of calories in the
Yes.
syrup because it is
Sure.
a sugar
Yeah.
cane-based syrup, but it's only about 60 calories or so.
So that's where the sweetness comes from. If you weren't going to put any sort of the roses or anything in it, the sweetness really comes from the topping. So let's pop one of these out.
You just kind of pop that out of the mold.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, you have to do that again.
Oh, but wait, I want to do one.
Yes. Wow.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is beautiful. That's really cool.
Wow, okay.
And so you just put it on the serving boat.
And you didn't have to treat that plastic mold with anything ahead of time to
This
keep
is-
it from sticking?
This is silicone, so it's stick proof, but you gotta like wash it really, really well. Otherwise, it is very difficult to
To get
take
them out.
some off.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Sure.
then we put on all of the goodies on top.
Right. So the way to serve this is once you have the cake on the boat, you take the kanako powder, which is roasted soybean.
Right? So what would that taste like?
It's kind of tastes like peanut butter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 Really toasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on one side.
Peanut butter.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And then we have a black sugarcane syrup. So this gives it more of the sweetness, and you just put that on the other side.
Oh, so.
It's
Now, was this the classic raindrop cake?
The classic one, we didn't have the rose extract in it or the rose petals, so it was just the clear raindrop itself. That's the one that I launched at Smorgasburg in New York.
But wait, this is endless. You could do whatever you wanted in here.
Exactly. It's you can use it very creatively and just put whatever ingredients or extracts, flavorings in it, and you
Yeah.
can put some edible flowers in it, coloring
Wow.
as well.
Okay, you want to.
I would have put pork
Yeah.
shoulder in mine.
So just take
Good.
You could.
powder, sprinkle on top,
Oh my god.
get the
It's
syrup,
delicious.
and then you just kind of dig in.
There you go.
Here I go.
Dig in.
Cheers.
By the way, the full recipe is available by visiting hallmarkchannel.com. You can purchase your own raindrop cake kit by visiting raindropcake.com.
that's
Thank you
so
so,
refreshing.
isn't it?
Oh my goodness, I love
0
this.
calories. Stick around. Shirley's up next. She's going to be trading.